Uh, yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you a lot for hopping onto this call with me and talking about your project. Maybe you can start by telling us a little bit more about yourself and when did you start working on it, about your background and stuff like that.
Sure. Thank you for inviting me. That's really exciting. So my name is Indra. I'm in this Web3 space. I'm more known as a tourist, and this is a nickname close to my heart because it's taken from the Saint-Germain album, The Tourist, which is a very beautiful piece of music. So yeah, I just feel like being a tourist in this like wonderful world of NFTs and Web3 in general. So yeah, I'm happy with this name, and I co-founded the Rebels by House of Kalinkin a few months ago. That is an NFT venture that focuses on bridging in real life and digital fashion, and also a sort of revolution around fighting for your rights and your freedom because our story is very much ingrained, with that. We had my partner Robert and we've had this fashion house, like in real life fashion house, for more than 10 years. And
Wow.
around 7 years ago, we had a huge court case, basically around one of our ads for our fashion show. And it disturbed some church representatives, and it was banned, even though Lithuania, where we are from, is a secular country. It does not have a state religion, and in government and church is completely separated. But nevertheless, it was banned, and we lost all court cases in Lithuania. But as young artists at that time, we were both 20-somethings and with no budget, nothing. But we still decided to fight for rights of freedom of expression, basically, because the ad as a medium is also a piece of art. It's considered as such, and we took this case to the European Court of Human Rights.
Wow.
Which is in Strasbourg, and we won that case. It took 5 years, but we basically won the case against our country. So it was like Robert Kalinkin against Lithuania, and it became a binding precedent, relating all the future cases about the freedom of expression. So that was a big revelation for us, and that's how our NFT venture started, because we thought, what better way to immortalize this story, this fight of like two young creatives, like one artist and one very young manager, fighting the fight against the establishment, against the structure. So and we decided to launch the Rebels by House of Kalinkin, and the characters were drawn by original artist and her sister, the original artist who made the ad that won the European Court of Human Rights case. So that was felt like a true, full circle of that story. And now we have those rebels, 1,101 rebels, representing that fight, representing the freedom that they carry, and the rebel, if you have a rebel, it acts like a membership card, like an access pass into everything that we will be building, and that will be both bridging the in real life and metaverse fashion, and fighting for relevant causes that we really believe in, building the community, inviting more people in the space, because I think there are some truly underrepresented groups, and especially in the artistic field, and fashion is one of the, applied arts, which is really undiscovered yet.
Wow.
And so that's our story, and we launched in January, and so it's been only around a month that we are live, and it's been a really hell of a story and hell of a ride so far.
Wow, yeah, I love the story and the background and how you fight for your rights and what you think is true and that you won this court case over several years. I think you said 5 years or yeah.
Yep.
So that's I think you need to have a lot of power to survive that time and also to trust in yourself and stuff like that. So I think this is like something I haven't heard of yet. It's really fascinating, and I'm really positively baffled or puzzled. So it's really cool background, I believe. And you said that you started 1 month ago, approximately, with the launch of
Yes.
the NFT project. Can you when did you start working on it and came together as a team? From what I understood, you were already a team with your co-founder already from before, and the artist, was she also part of the team, or how did it go?
Yeah, so I personally discovered NFT space in around June last year. Not even a year since I'm here, but I understood it immediately. So I started, participating heavily in the space and just building relationships, getting to know people, trading NFTs a lot. My first NFT was Damien Hirst, the currency project. I think it really brought a lot of people into the space because I'm very interested in contemporary art, and Damien Hirst, of course, is a huge name, and I think he helped to bring so many fresh people that weren't aware about NFTs before. So yes, and then I was just hooked, and then art blogs, generative art, follow it, and I was started to buy, flipping some, earning some money, losing some money, standard stuff. And then I found some communities that I really resonated with, and I had the opportunity to learn, and that basically was Zeneca's discourse, the Zen Academy and the 333 Club, and it was a wonderful learning ground because there were people that were building their own projects, sharing the information. And so when I started working on the Rebels, that was end of October, beginning of November. So it roughly took us 3 months to launch a project. I think it's a medium amount of time.
Yeah.
I think anywhere between 3 to 6 months is okay to launch, because more than that, and people lose interest, and less than that, people might not find you fast enough. So I think it was a really nice sweet spot to launch that. And basically I was on my own at the beginning, just me and my sister, who's a ex-gamer. So she knew really well how to run a Discord. She had previously had a Discord herself for her streaming. So I think she was just perfect for that job, and I took her in, and then we created the Rebels Discord, and then started building the project, inviting people, telling our story, and then in parallel we had our head designer who was original designer of the app, and apparently her sister was an amazing graphic designer as well. So we were lucky in that sense, because there are two sets of sisters in our team. One developer, but he has a whole team behind him. They have a big company that develops Web3 products. So they just did the smart contracts from the ground up, and it was a really a very efficient contract, which helped a lot, because we were able to save people gas and things like that, and it was pretty secure. So super, because I think one of the most important things when you are building a project, just to have 100% trust in your development team, because it's so easy to for those who know the code to find ways to a backdoor or something. So
there's so many
trust is
Yeah, true. There are so many stories out there where the developers rug the project or send the ETH to other addresses. So yeah, it's really helpful to have a team which you can trust and stuff like that. And you seem to have a big team. And how many members are you again, approximately in your
In
team?
the team, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's six
six. Okay.
permanent members.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah,
so
it's
I
nice.
think that's medium team, and we are all
Yeah.
like really have our own jobs that we have to do, and
Yeah.
less with the development now, even though we are reworking the website now because it was meant for minting, and now it's over. So
Okay.
we need to make something
Yeah.
new out of it.
Yeah, true. We can look into the website in a minute. And
Sure.
actually, how I discovered you is also through Zeneca, and because I was in a Twitter Spaces, I think when you were talking and how he introduced the project to maybe to some of his following. So I get to know you and the project as well when I was in the Spaces. I can't remember when it was. I think it was last year for sure, I believe. And when you did the Spaces.
Probably.
So yeah. So it was pretty cool. All right, and maybe also to talk about the collection size you mentioned already. It's a 10K collection, right? And how did it go with the pre? Was there a pre-sale or something like allow list to get minting? And how did this one go? Can you talk about this one?
Yeah, of course. We had a pre-sale. I think it was a sort of a prerequisite for project launching because everybody was just having pre-sales. But I don't necessarily think that is so important right now because the market dictates whether you need a pre-sale. Depending on how much hype you get. We were not a hype project. We were like very much undercover and without any major marketing action. It's just very organic, very word of mouth. So I wouldn't say that it was truly necessary, but it helped us to identify like a true core of our supporters. And we had, I think, around 1,000 people that were on the pre-sale list, and we verified that they're real humans and not bots. And I think we formed like a more special relationship, and they are definitely our OGs in the Discord as well. And we treat them as such, trying to find ways to bring value as well as to the holders right now. But basically, those people who are the first to believe in your project, they're really special. You should never forget them, to always try to think of new ways to bring value. So we had the pre-sale list. I wouldn't necessarily recommend for other projects to just directly go that route. It very much depends on your needs and on your project. If it's a smaller project, or if it gets really a lot of hype, it maybe makes sense because it ensures that you are attracting those people exactly that you want to attract. So this would just help in managing expectations and understanding the needs of the community, which is I think the number one thing that every project builder should do, to understand the community and whether it's aligned with the vision of the project, because the vision without community is nothing.
That's true. Yeah, I think so too. Community is the one of the biggest parts in having a successful project, and also, as you said, engaging with those from the early days and treating them good and stuff like that. You said that you're trying to bring value and trying to bridge the gap between NFTs and fashion. Can you also talk a little bit about that? What's your plan with that is, and how it's going, and
Actually, I came to a realization during this month that it's a very hard thing to
Of
do,
course.
to do a fashion utility, because fashion is in such an early stage in Web3, and it's like completely unexplored, and the technology is not yet there, because if anyone visited like Decentraland, which is one of the most advanced metaverses, it's just, you can just see, how simple the avatars are just now. I'm pretty sure it's going to change soon, but still we are a bit ahead of the curve. Everyone who is working on digital wearables and digital fashion, because you can really make an incredible like 3D render of a garment, but it won't really be adaptable to that many situations, because you need to put that on the engine.
Yeah.
On the one gaming engine, on one or the another, and they don't talk to each other, and it's not very interoperable. So, but really there are a lot of limitations. So we are exploring mainly. I think we will need to have like a separate research and development department in the Rebels, to make the most out of it. But what we are now trying to do is to slowly move from the purely physical fashion, and we have our fashion store, we have our traditional e-commerce shop, but we will be implementing the Web3 elements, and then step by step moving into that direction. So we will be releasing a special like capsule collection for our holders, and you will be able only to buy that if you own a Rebel, for example. And one of the coolest things that is coming is that we have confirmed the participation in the Metaverse Fashion Week, which is going to be end of March in Decentraland. So it's going to be pretty cool, because we will have our own like a concept store, and we will sell both digital and physical items in there. And it's just going to be our first step into the actual like digital wearables and metaverse world. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Sounds super interesting. Also with the fashion and wearables maybe in the near future. I think it's still super early, as you said, and the technology is not yet there. But I mean, this is like what you're trying to achieve, and if you, I believe, stick to it and stay informed, work on it, then in the near future, when the road is a little bit more clearer on how to implement it and stuff like that, then I mean, you're one of the early adopters or maybe pioneers. So there's nothing against it which speaks against it. So I think this is a very nice way of bridging the gap between those two worlds. And I mean, you have the background as well, and have a fashion store and work in fashion for many years already. So this is a nice combination as well, I believe. Let's do a little screen share so our listeners can also see on what we are talking about. So I really love the website and the art. So you said you want to rework the website, right? But I believe, like, for me, it's really cool already.
It is pretty cool, but we will definitely change the front page, because nobody needs to see the dates anymore. It's sold out, so it's still only available on OpenSea and other marketplaces. So not a lot will change right now, because I think the bigger change will come in like a few months, perhaps, when we figure out the way to display what we are doing the best. But one thing that we got a lot of suggestions of was a little bit to change up the theme page, because Robert is getting too much attention, and I thought it's a relevant relevant comment, because it's mainly woman-led project. Robert is obviously the creator and designer in our team, but and he has the nicest pictures of us all, because he's sort of a celebrity in our country, and sort of influencer. So he has a lot of nice pictures, and
Okay.
he's a very he's quite a character, like most creatives are. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah,
So
but we'll be reworking a bit of that.
nice, nice, nice. Yeah. I can understand that maybe some people say, "Hey, why is he in the center
Yeah.
of a focus?" Yeah, right. And but nice picture for sure. And I like the team as well. But he seems to be a well-known person. You said in your does he have
Yes.
a big following? I haven't checked it out on Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah, on Twitter not so much because he's more like an Instagram person.
Okay.
I forgot how much he has on Insta, but I think like maybe, I don't know,
Oh,
yeah, like
almost
50K.
50K. Wow, that's a
Yeah,
lot. Yeah,
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 yeah. So that is his personal account, and we also have the
yeah.
company account as well, and that is our original, fashion house, the traditional one. So we are
Cool.
selling. This is accessory with diamonds and our collections, and we have,
Nice.
so it's like a street couture brand. So
Mm-hmm.
it has the street style vibe, but also Robert loves dressing women in gowns and wedding dresses, and we have a big department of custom made garments and
Mm-hmm.
wedding gowns. So
Nice.
couture part is like ingrained in him as well.
Yeah, looks very beautiful. The pictures and the clothes and stuff like that. Yeah, coming back to the web page and maybe also the art. How did you guys develop kind of the art? Was it like clear from the beginning? Because I really like the art as well, and it looks kind of also with it's not like super clean, it's more like grainy a little bit, right? This is also
Yep.
something cool I like.
Yeah. So I think that was the very beginning was our very first picture. If
Mm-hmm.
you scroll up
Okay.
to the very top, so that's the main image. That's the OG image of
Oh
which
yeah.
was hand redrawn from the actual ad that won the court case.
Mm-hmm.
So basically,
Okay.
is a drawn replica of our original ad, which was a photograph. So we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't use a photograph as a base for a project. So basically, our artists, they just redrew everything, and that was the search for the character was the longest period of time that it
Mm-hmm.
took them
Yeah.
to make, because once they created this girl, this OG Mary,
Mm-hmm.
it after that it was fairly fast, all the traits and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
this search for this, facial expression and the attitude that we wanted to portray, it really took around a month
Yeah.
to discover. But
Okay.
and then when we had her, she was basis for everything. And then we just brainstormed a lot of ideas,
Mm-hmm.
of what other traits should be like. And I think one of the best decisions we made was not to give the exact list of traits to the artist, because
Mm-hmm.
it's really limiting for the
Of
artist
course.
if they have to draw something they've never drawn in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And it can take them to like to be really stuck in some place. So we brainstormed I don't know, like around 100 ideas.
Mm-hmm.
What could she draw, and then she just proceeded, and every few days she would show us the progress and
Yeah.
some different combinations of all the different categories, like skin tone, background, clothes, and everything. So and it worked out really well, because she grasped the concept
Mm-hmm.
very
Mm-hmm.
fast and really well, and it really showed that and it resonated with people a lot, because I think one of the biggest parts of our success was the art, because people just like looking at the rebels.
True. Yeah.
And I think I don't fully comprehend that myself, because I've been looking at them for like 4 months already. So it's a different relationship, but when people see it for the first time, I
Yeah.
think they just like the traits and
Yeah.
the look of
True.
it.
Yeah, I really like the art, but I can understand when you look at it 24/7 for 4 months, then after a while you get enough of it. Maybe, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, what so very interesting thoughts, and maybe also to jump over to the general space and woman-led projects. What do you think of that? I know it's a very broad question, but yeah, I think like the attention and yeah, the attention should go to women-led projects, and some in this space sometimes are, I don't know, a little bit. Yeah, it's a very male or man-dominated space, the NFT space. So, what's your take on that?
Well, ideally, I would like to live in a world where there's no difference between,
Mm,
female and male projects, and people just even don't mention that, but that's
true.
not the reality. Let's admit that. And they're really the minority. Women are the minority in this space, and males are the majority. But that is quickly changing, I think, because
Yeah.
women are really good at adapting to things. Just we're
Mm.
from the ancient times when you needed to survive probably, and to raise your kid and your family and the responsibility and everything. I think
Yeah.
that's the part of the evolution, because they sense the opportunity and then make the most out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I see it, because all the, like, I don't know, 99% of the woman-led project that I've been following, and I've been following a lot, and I have a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They are just very good projects.
Yeah.
They're like super high quality, and because women, when they start doing something, it's never half baked. It should be
True.
proper project,
Yeah.
because they just don't allow themselves to to skip some parts or just brush through it. So
Yeah.
I think it's very noticeable, that difference. I cannot generalize, because I think there
Yeah.
are good actors and bad actors everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I am yet to hear like about a rug from a generally a woman,
Yeah.
because all the rugs were basically from male part.
True.
That sounds horrible, but
Yeah.
just maybe to shine a light on the fact that women are taking this Web3 world very seriously, because
Mm.
they don't want to screw it. So
That's true.
so
Yeah.
it's just yeah, it's just fascinating to see. And I think we were pretty lucky with the timing, because
Mm-hmm.
originally the Rebels had to launch in mid-December, but
Yeah.
we decided to postpone because the market was not there, and
Mm-hmm.
it was still very slow, and
True.
nobody was interested before Christmas. So we
Yeah.
postponed, and that exact week when we launched it,
Mm-hmm.
all the women projects just took off.
Wow.
Basically, like World of Women was
Yeah.
leading, the pack, and then, I've witnessed Women Rise, like another
Mm.
project, sitting for 2+ months unminted, because I minted,
Mm.
at the very beginning, and then I was just sometimes checking, and
Okay.
they were like, first they sold maybe 1,000, and then they were like at 1.5 and 2,000. But then January came, and it
Yeah.
was over in like a day, I think. And then
Wow.
all the other, like there was a Rebel Society that wasn't minted
Mm-hmm.
out yet, and they just all minted through that one day, and then
Wow.
a couple of days later we minted out as well. And
That's good.
that was also pretty fast, because once we revealed the tokens and opened up the sale to everyone, it
Mm-hmm.
was just crazy fast.
Yeah,
So
I think it's yeah, some projects it's sometimes hard to um, yeah, stay motivated and do everything when you're not sold out. Sometimes I feel like if I had a project and it wouldn't mint out, it's kind of disheartening. But you need to stay strong and still believe in it. And I mean, mostly when it's before selling out, then the hype starts really kicking off and it goes yeah, vertical kind of from the selling out perspective. So yeah, I completely feel you and what you say, and yeah. So, and how long did it take to sell out for the project again,
We
approximately?
had a pre-sale. We had a pre-sale for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that was done, and we sold a few hundred, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not a lot. And
Yeah.
people started talking. What are you thinking? How are you
Yeah.
going to sell 10,000? You have less than 2,000 members in
Mm.
Discord, but actually the numbers don't really show
True.
everything, because they only show the hype projects, and
Mm.
the sometimes just bots and bot accounts,
True.
and fake users and things like that. So I was pretty confident that
Okay.
we can sell out. And then I made the decision to reveal tokens, because we at the beginning we started with the same strategy, like to
Mm.
have like a unrevealed period when
Mm.
you need to just to have, and you don't know what you're having.
Mm-hmm.
But that basically only makes sense when the project is hyped,
True.
because it gives the opportunity to flip,
Yeah.
and for a secondary market. And since we didn't have that, and
Okay.
during the pre-sale, only people that really believed in the vision bought, we didn't need to keep the tokens unrevealed. So we after I think 2 or 3 days we
Okay.
revealed them,
Cool.
and we were around 1,500
Mm-hmm.
out of 10,000. So that was still a long way to go, and I
True.
was a bit stressed. But the minute we revealed, like, it took over Twitter, and Discord started growing, because people liked the art so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the attention is growing, it's just charts are picking up, and then people notice, and then 1 minute there were like a few thousand left, and then another minute was the website was down. Everybody
Wow.
just minted from contract, and it
Okay.
was over in 2 minutes. So
Wow.
that is crazy.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
This feels like a rush of yeah, I don't know, adrenaline, or makes you, I think, very hyped and happy, I believe, when you sell out that quickly. Yeah, nice feeling.
It is.
Yeah. So, and what do you think? Someone who's coming new into the space, what do you think is important for them when you're just starting out and maybe hearing about NFTs? And yeah, it's still different world for you and maybe a little bit complicated. What would be your advice for a newbie?
For someone building a project or just learning about the space.
Maybe let's say someone building a project.
Yeah, but because the biggest advice I can give is just to be like hands-on in this space, and just spend as much time as possible in here, like in Twitter and Discord, and just making connections, like genuine connections,
Yeah.
not spamming, not, because that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I personally feel that the best thing you can do is just to make natural connections, and find friends and people who support you, and build, share your vision, and then people will come. There is another way. There is another, like a hype way, where you maybe buy some big influencers, a lot of marketing, and spend a lot of money on that. And that's also a route that some projects take, and some are successful, but I think 90% are not, because after the Rebels were launched, I've heard so many crazy stories about people spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on paid marketing, and just not selling anything, because now it's just very hard to do that. You have to have like a unique take on something, or unique art, or great communities, because just being here and launching something is just not going to be enough. So,
True.
but if you have like a good background in the space, and you are known, and people know that you're a real person, and Doc's team is like a given right now.
Of course.
Like there is no reason to be anonymous.
Yeah.
If you're building something,
True.
it's like a raising money. So you should be transparent.
Of
Who you are and what you're building. So I think my main advice would be just to connect with as many people as possible, and
True.
to be just honest and genuine and
yeah.
authentic. Like authenticity goes a long way in this space.
Yeah, I believe so too. And what do you think if maybe about Twitter activity from from the team members, if someone is maybe not so active and maybe do you think it still can be successful, or what do you think about that? I mean, not everyone maybe can be active. Maybe someone, the artist, maybe has a job on the side and making the income from there and still not fully into Web3 yet. But what do you think about that?
Well, I think at least one of the founders must be fully in the space, like not necessarily all of them. And I think most times artists don't want to spend that much time on Twitter because it interrupts with the creativity side and the, creation. But one of the founders just absolutely must be hands-on in here because nobody can do that, for you. You cannot hire anyone to translate your vision into the space. So you have to be there. You have to, share that vision and just be basically 24/7. And Twitter is an amazing tool for that. And I think one of the best free channels that you can have is Twitter Spaces. So as you mentioned, you heard about us on Twitter Spaces, and I think we've gained a lot of attention through Twitter Spaces, just organizing them or just being part of them, collabing with other projects, and that is absolutely free. And if you have a story to tell, people will listen.
Of course, Twitter Spaces is also a space, or I think I need to tap into. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything you want the people to know before we end this nice conversation? And
I think it's really such a fascinating place to be. I just found the passion, again, because I think every one of us feels that way when they enter, NFTs and Web3, and especially if you start building something, because it feels like really empowering, because you have like so many opportunities and so many amazing people, and the positivity is real. Like if you surround yourself with amazing people, that will, it will lift you up.
True.
But also, it is stressful. It is very draining, and it's very important, to take time for yourself and not be drowned in Discord all day, because otherwise you won't be capable to execute on your vision. So that's what happened to us, and I had to remind myself that, and my team, I had to take care that they sleep and eat and all the basic things, and take some time off, because the space demands insane speed, but you have to resist the unrealistic expectations, and and then just build and work, and then it will be awesome. So
thanks so too. Thank you so much for your time and for your insights, and for showcasing your project. Really loved talking to you. So again, thank you so much, and talk to you soon, hopefully. And have a good day.
Absolutely. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.